Recording.
No, I got prayed on in the middle of the conversation.
Please.
We're gonna get snappy on camera. Okay, y'all. I feel super grateful to be here with y'all.
Really?
I love it. Yes. Let's get right into it. So, how do y'all feel for real about y'all's bodies right now? I guess mine is a work in progress. I'm just continuing to work on it. This mom body and everything that's going on with it. This tummy, just trying to make it work and be sexy at the same time.
When you guys talk about mom bods, to me it's okay, it's not the body that you loved when you were at your best and most fit. But I guess it's because I'm not a mom and I just see how much you had to endure and how much you had to do in order to become a mom. And it's not just the mental, but it's the fact that you put on this weight because there's literally a person growing inside of you. It's so hard to maintain a plant. So I just always think that is something for all moms to just consider when you're it's a mom bod or it's a dad bod. You earned it.
I'm gonna speak for me personally. I feel after I had Moses, my body was as best it had ever been. And it's so interesting because thinking about my mom, my grandmother, my aunts, and I seeing having a baby, how it can shred your body apart and tear you up. You go up and down in your weight, which is real. I go through that too. But I was my smallest I had ever been after I had Moses. I had abs. My boobs weren't my favorite because them things just went away. They got really big and then they went away. But as far as me being able to manage my weight with going vegetarian, vegan lifestyle, I don't know, breastfeeding and all that, and trying to keep up with him, it really just, I don't know, made me a lot more confident, to say, I'm a mama, I had a baby, and look at my waist. You know what I'm saying? I didn't always have that. Y'all know, I grew up thick. I've been thick all my life. So, to have a baby and then be my smallest, I was yo, I am magical. Look at this body.
And I feel you went through a lot in order for the whole process. To prepare yourself to be able to carry Mo.
Yeah.
And then once he was in there, he was I don't care what you do before me. I want a burger right now, and I want a side of steak with that burger.
Right.
Well, for me, opposite to you, Jarian, I felt my best right before I had my first baby. So I was on a vegan diet. That's why I got pregnant in the first place. Because I was looking good. And I was feeling good. I was feeling my best. And now it's just a love-hate relationship, honestly. I feel very confident. Yes, I earned it. And all my curves and everything. But I just feel sometimes I love it. Sometimes I can feel very insecure. But I feel that all comes with it. But I do love myself in this moment.
I feel with my body, it's the insecurities that I feel I've had with my bodies are things that I never noticed until other people pointed them out.
Other people pointing them out?
Yeah.
You tell the things that you do.
Because I'm you don't have none.
My insecurities were things that I never even consciously thought about. And then when I started, becoming a woman and just examining myself and who I am and how I became this person just based off of the woman who raised me, I realized how integral my mother's talking to me from a very early age shaped how I saw myself. She tells me all the time, you came out here, I needed a C-section because you came out here telling the world to kiss your ass, and we've been doing it ever since. Because she told me I came out booty first, so she had to get a C-section. And so ever since then, she would tell me my small little stories for me to just embrace myself and how I looked. She'd say, when God made you, he said, now she's perfect, but she's missing something. Oh, I forgot her little nudie. So he took a little bit off your booty. She always pinches my butt. And she said, gave you your nose. That's how you got your little nudie. And so it's
cute.
So it's even though it's, it's oh, that's so cute or whatever, but it sticks with me to this day. To the point where it's I look at my body, I look at my face, and I don't just see myself. I see all the women who raised me. And so for me to change myself would to say that not only am I not beautiful, but the women who I based and judged my ideas of beauty aren't beautiful either. And so I've always had examples of different women, different complexions, different sizes, whether it be on my dad's side or be on my mom's side. I've always seen different representations of what women are. So I always believe that all women are beautiful because, and then you taught me that too. It's like these men don't know what they like until you show them. And then ever since she told me that, I was like, well, honey, you gonna like this today.
Well, one thing I'll say about growing up, you already know, because you would think, me as a young girl, I was always just thick, chubby, whatever you want to call it. And my mom, out of protection, she embedded in me as far as not to be looked at sexualized, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, unfortunately, like, you know, in your family, like things happen, or you go over a friend's house or a neighbor, and so out of protection, it was like, you need to cover up. You know, I dressed like a tomboy until I was in like 5th grade, until I realized, I think I want something that fits me. Like, my dad bought my clothes, so I always wear like oversized, like t-shirts, sweatshirts, or whatever. And it's like now to have, you know, going through middle school, puberty, high school, and to kind of feel insecure all the time, unless a man or a boy was telling me that I looked good, and that's when I was like, okay, I got a big butt. You know, it works. Like, this is my thing. I got thighs and hips and everything. And then I started being like, no, I don't want you to look at me that way. So I started just being super protective of myself over my body. But then it's like, now that I'm a mama, I'm married, I'm like, you gonna see this, like all of this. And sometimes I'm like, is it too much? Like, you know, and you know me, I'm still pretty modest, but it's like now being at this age, I'm just like, girl, wear it, show it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, exude like those sexy parts of you that, you know, because it took a long time, I'm sure all of us like can say, like, to appreciate certain parts of our body. It's just with motherhood and just life and work, we're just trying to maintain, like, and trying to find a routine, because it's exhausting too working out, like, you know.
I think that's my thing. Like, I'm super modest with my body, like, and it took me having kids and like just being older. So like, you can show it. It's okay to show your body and be open to it. Like, I have boobs. Like, it's okay to show them, like, and be sexy. But I wouldn't do that before. Like, it was just like, no. Like, but I'm just now getting to the point where it's like, it's okay to do those things. And I get, when you get a compliment on them, don't be like, I didn't mean to do that. Like, I didn't mean to show y'all those. Like, that's how it was in the past.
It's crazy though, because I always use you as a reference. Like, whenever I'm about to put something on and I feel like, oh, it may be exposing too much, and I'm like, God,
right. And you know me, it took me a while to embrace these that I have, and I'm like, you are still woman. Like, I think a long time ago, it was like a couple years ago, we went to the club one time and I wore like a low cut top, and Jane was like, oh, that's cute. And I'm like, I ain't trying to just look cute. I would just say, like, you know what I mean? And so, but
Ladies and puppies are cute.
Right. And then that's another thing, we're talking about our body and images. You gotta know I work out. I'm not obsessive over it, but I really try to, you know, get my balance of it, because I do have a small chest. And like, having a small chest and a big stomach don't work. So I gotta have a small waist, you know what I'm saying? So I'm conscious about what I eat and how it makes me feel. And it makes me think about, like, how do you consciously think about what you're going to eat before your cycle? Because, you know, like, your cycle coming each month, like, you feel like trash, like, you're super bloated. And so, like, do y'all ever consider, like, what you eat when your cycle's coming, or you like, I'm going all in, like, my cycle's here, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like when it first comes, like, I be like, I'm with it. Like, I want this, I want that. I'm going to get there, I'm going to eat it. And then you pay for it after that, in the beginning. And then from then on, you have to be conscious, because you pack on weight in that little bit of time, and it's so quick. We having all these cravings.
I actually got sick like the day before my cycle came. That's never happened to me. Like, this past cycle, I actually felt like I was coming down with like a sickness, like the flu or something, and then took some medicine, and the next day my period came. And so I was asking around, like, does that happen? And people are like, yes, you can feel like you're coming down with something. So you have to pay attention to the stuff that you eat, because I think that same day I was trying to drink a margarita and have some chips and salsa and a burrito, and my body was reacting back to it like, don't eat this stuff. We don't want this stuff. We want something healthy. Like, you should have had a salad, and then took the medicine that you want to take, or the teas, so that you could feel better. But I knocked it out. But it was strictly, I felt cold-like symptoms the day before my cycle, and it just went away.
Yeah, no, my body always tells me the week before. So the week before, if I'm like, we're gonna go to the grocery store, I'm gonna have just eggs, grits, and croissant. Breakfast gonna be bomb. And then I'm like, I'm gonna have salmon, I'm gonna have some mashed potatoes, we're gonna have some spinach, we're gonna have some broccoli. It's gonna be great. And I'm just like cooking the whole week before. I'll be in the middle of just jamming and cooking and sauteing, and I'm just like, my period's coming on next week. And then I know
the crying. I'm crying. And I'm like, why am I crying at everything? Why do I have an attitude? Why am I snappy? But as far as food, I try to stay away from liquor. Like when I'm like, I don't know. My body just feels like, I don't know. It feels weird.
It's one of those things where you bleed more. That's why they tell you
that's
like
exactly
when you go to get a tattoo or you're going to get piercings or something like that, don't drink before because you're going to bleed more. So if I feel like I want to cook and I want to just eat, and I eat meat, but I don't crave meat until the week before my cycle because it takes so much energy out of me. You do?
When I'm on my cycle, sometimes like I want chicken, or I like warm bread. Give me the muffins, the croissants, the apple turnovers. Like I want all of that. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I like burger, fries, milkshake, like the stuff.
Like I'm just like
pasta,
like all the carbs, all the cheese. If it's dead, it's going down. Like I need it in my life. But like, so that brings me to my question. So like, what 3 ages do you remember the most significant changes in your body, and like what caused them? Was it just puberty? Was it stress? Was it the struggle? Was it I mean, was it just you just changing your lifestyle? For me, mine were 16, 22, 23, and 30. So 16, it was the summer that I had went to go visit my tia in New York. And I mean, that woman had me all over the place. She had me in Queens, she had me in Brooklyn, carrying boxes of hats and suits and stuff. She was a pastor, so you know, we always had to have that stuff made. And it was elaborate with a matching wig. It was a mess. I loved it, but it was a lot. So she had me everywhere, and then she'd come home and she'd make tamales, and she'd make baked macaroni and cheese and baked spaghetti, and then we'd go to IHOP, and then we'd have church dinners and stuff. And I'm sitting over here coming back home with a whole bunch of stuff that I got from off of Flatbush and clothes and stuff. And then, whoops. I mean, I've always had a little bit of a booty. I mean, booty was there. Came out telling y'all I can smash. But, you know, the boobs was something new. So then I came for homecoming, and that's when I realized, you know what? Why do clothes need backs? That's so stupid. Everything should be backless. All my clothes should be backless.
right now.
That's when that kind of started. Like homecoming, I had a dress and it was a halter top and it was back and it had a split that came up. And I was like, okay, this is body. This.
I was just like that.
Alright, it's my first Forever 21 dress. I was like, this is what life is supposed to be. I'm supposed to look like this. And then I was thick ups. And then college came and I was like freshman 20. My daddy was like, who's that getting kind of big? And then ever since then, I was like, where's Dulce? If she's not at the cafeteria, she's in the room.
Getting French fries.
With the worst diet, I would have grilled cheese, pizza, fries, a waffle, and a Coke. Why none of that match?
I feel like me and Jerry ate Wendy's for literally 6 months straight.
Y'all, those spud potatoes. Oh my gosh. And then we started just doing the wings.
Yes.
The worst.
We had to go to the hospital to get our
Oh my
stomachs.
God, remember when
Y'all had to get your stomach pumped?
Like, we went to the hospital.
Wow.
Because I think it was from the Wendy's.
she was driving,
soda.
throwing up. I'm like on the passenger side.
Oh my
It was
God.
nasty.
Calling our
people.
mamas. What's going on?
Like, we're, and
why-
how hard did they have to drive? Because you know we were at Gordon. And like,
Y'all got the grip?
us in
some
something.
hospital we had to go to and check ourselves.
Sounds like a
in.
hospital.
Like
Take
half
that
of the
overhead.
stuff we used to eat, I dare not. We used to eat
Cannot put- I
McDonald's all
can't
the
even
time.
put it in my mouth.
We used to eat. Oh my god, and that flurry if they had it. Oh my god.
But anyway, sorry.
Because I'm just because when that all this was happening, I was either at Georgia South or in the gym, so it was one of those. So, but then life happened at around 22. I got stressed. Y'all remember I was looking like,
Oh my god, baby,
don't say
you
it
were
was like you used to be. Hey, you look like you, kinda. That's what happened there. So, and then I had people was like, "Is Lucy on coke?" And I'm like, "If I was on coke, you would know it."
And that was my club days. That was the club
Like you would be
days.
able to tell, I'm hyper anyway. So if I was on coke, I'd be like, I'm missing Pokemon. It's like, but then I left and I joined AmeriCorps, and then it was like, oh yes, it's government funded. We have food stamps, so buy groceries. And everyone there had their issues with food. Like one dude only ate an apple, and then my other teammate, she'd eat literally pretzels and hummus every day. And I'm like, that's a good snack.
It is.
It's
But
a
after
snack,
a while,
man.
hummus just started.
And she's just like so loving it. And I'm like, so we still have how much left to buy groceries? She said, we still have $200. And I was like, and all he want is Pop-Tarts, and she just want hummus and pretzels?
Those are what I If you
Wake up every morning, we had to do physical labor like mucking and gutting and like taking down drywall insulation, and it's cold. And so you can't be hungry when you do that sort of stuff. You can't be weak, you can't be fatigued, you can't be you have to be full of energy. So I would wake up in the morning, I would make breakfast. No, I would wake up in the morning because we'd have to work out 3 times a day. That was a part of our schedule. We had to do it. So we wake up, we work out, I make breakfast, I take a shower, we eat, and then we go to work. And so that just became my schedule. So all the work that we were doing, all the food that I was eating, it helped me to put back on that weight. And so when I came home, I got back to a place that was comfortable for me. And so once I became comfortable to the body that I have now, I was like, it's a lot of stuff that's going to come to you, and your body is going to show you how you're reacting to it. So you need to listen to your body. It's really so hard for me to listen to my body because I'm just stubborn and I'm just hard-headed. I'm like, I want to do it anyway. But
And you know me, I be like, go say that Coke and them wings, don't catch up to you.
They are.
So
So
now
now,
Coke with a lot of ice.
Them,
but now I'm trying to tell people, I'm like, it'd be like this much ice. It'd be like that much Coke. So much.
It was before. Right now, it's that.
So, but now it's just like, okay, you had a soda, drink a water. Soda, water. Sip soda, sip water. Like, what color is your pee?
I can't drink soda at all. And I used to drink Sprite all the time with some hot Cheetos. Like, that was my thing, some pickle chips.
That sounds like
But that's right. Like some Pop Rocks. Like soda in your
A
stomach.
Mentos and a Coke.
Right, I can't do none of that now. That's why it's like, knowing that you drink soda still, I don't knock nobody, but my stomach is different.
I crave soda sometimes, but really, whenever I do, I always drink ginger ale.
Now, when I was pregnant, ginger ale, that was my jam. Like, I can't do seltzer water or like sparkling water.
I know that's how you get soda.
I love it.
Tamara loves
Waterloo,
it
yes.
I love it. It tastes like Splenda.
That's funny.
It tastes like soda.
No.
The texture is okay.
Because it was like, give this back. Like, you
Like, hey, this is backwash. This is Jesus' backwash. Like, it's not what that is. Rebrand that. It's not what that is.
My ages would be 13, which is when I got boobs. It's like it went from nothing to C cup in like a year. Nothing to a C cup on 6th grade year, 12 to 13 years old. Then I would say the other one would be like my early 20s, like just learning your body and what you can wear and all of that, being that I have the boobs, because I can't wear anything, and then I can't go backless unless I take them up and all that. But they weren't talking about that then when I wanted to first go backless, so I couldn't go backless then. And then motherhood. Yeah, take your boobs. You know you can take your boobs up. That's what I would do now if I wanted to go backless.
Or if you wanted to
I
wear
can't
like a
go
gown.
backless.
Honey, the biggest I've ever been was a C, and even then I didn't care about nothing. They just gonna hang where they at.
We know that.
So yeah, those are my 3 ages, but I haven't really had any changes except for I went to the C cup. That was it. My boobs grew as I grew and got bigger. They like if I grow and I gain weight, my boobs get bigger.
I feel
And
like
then if I lose weight, they get smaller.
I feel like that's what kind of like spawned us wanting to have this conversation. Just like, you know, seeing Chloe changing and, you know, being more open about her body. And it just, and people are saying, you know, she should be more modest. And I'm thinking, she is literally learning her body. And this is something that we don't get to do as young women, you know, because, you know, coming from Chloe and Hallie, we've always seen them as little girls.
Right.
And so with puberty with boys, it's so fun. You wake up one day, you got a full goatee, your voice is deeper. Yeah, but even for the ones who don't get facial hair, who voices don't change, who don't get taller, you still have wet dreams.
Like, look,
It's something to
besides a
look
little
forward
girl,
to.
it's like someone's gonna say something that's gonna make you feel like it's negative, or you need to cover up, or like you doing too much.
Or like you woke up one day a completely different person. You wake up with boobs and like, so you had sex. Like, no, I went
or
to
you're
sleep.
sexy now.
Like, I went to sleep. I'm the same person who I was when I went to sleep. I'm the same person now. Because boys grow up, we grow out.
Right.
So because of that, it changes how they look at us. And so then we have to really try to reconceptualize how we see ourselves when we didn't even see ourselves before. So when you get to your 20s and you get to this point like, you know what? I know when my period's coming. I know the signs for when my period's coming. I know how to dress for my body now. I know what type of bras I need to wear for this outfit. What I know to like, if I'm gonna show my boobs, don't show my legs, this, that, and the third. So when you learn your body, you own your body. And we're always talking about owning your body, but we don't talk about how you had to go through all of that stuff in order to actually own your body. Because people are always trying to take ownership of your body, telling you, well, there's men there, so don't wear shorts when you go to sleep. I don't want to wear clothes when I go to sleep, so I'm doing them a favor by wearing shorts, period. You know? So you know, there's some kids who are just like that, and so we try to make them grow up too fast without realizing that we're putting, and there's like, well, society, we are society. So if we want to change society, we have to be that change. And we have to tell them that no one can tell you what you need to feel comfortable in your body doing. No one has the right to make or take the decision away from you about what you do with your body. And if someone does, you need to raise hell about it. You shouldn't feel ashamed because someone else took advantage of you, you know?
I can't really pinpoint ages. I have 2 kids and I still can't see somebody else's child and guesstimate how old they are. So just bear with me. But pretty much all my childhood, no matter what size I was, I always thought I was obese. So it don't even matter. Like even when I was skinny, I know, looking back, I was just weird in my mind, and I still am weird about certain things. But I feel like I was always aware of my femininity and how sensual I was, like because I know how I was in private with myself in the mirror. I was just always all woman. You couldn't tell me I wasn't. And I feel like now it's just amplified. So
I like how you said sensuality and not sexuality, because there's a huge difference between sensuality and sexuality.
I didn't say sexuality.
I know.
She said sensuality.
Right.
Yeah, because you know, it's sensuality is for you. Sexuality is something that, you know, because you share sexual experiences with other people.
Right.
So like for me, if I'm like pleasuring myself, that's a sensual experience because I'm doing this for me and it's me, my time. But the sexual experience is just like, hey. What? How you doing? You know what I don't like? Those clothes. Take them all the way. But like that's something that you share for someone else. So like sexuality is something that, you know, whether you want other people to have an opinion on, that's something for other people to have an opinion on. But your sensuality, that's you. I feel good when I get out of the shower and I put on some, you know, some shiner body butter and I'm just like, hey,
Or some moon oil.
Right.
Saying, yes.
Let's drop that in there. Right. I want to say for me, my body and my life and accepting it, it's been like a roller coaster. So I started my cycle at 9. So immediately, like, I'm trying to be a kid. I'm trying to go on the playground. It's like, no, you're a woman. Like, your body is doing this. And if you have sex, you'll get pregnant. And I'm just like, what? You know?
I don't want to do any of that.
I don't want to worry about any of that.
Monkey bars.
Right. So I feel like, one, because I'm a music kid, y'all all know, Fox, VH1, MTV, like we looked at videos and stuff and like I was knowing like my body is in this place now where things can happen. I see things on TV and so quickly my mind just, you know, was thinking things sometimes early as far as like attraction to boys, like, you know, and it's like, I really had to find my way to not look at it as a bad thing. Like it's a natural thing because your mama made it seem like, you know, it's a sin or, you know, something's done, you know what I'm saying? Like something's so bad.
That
So
was just based off of their experiences.
right, and so it kind of also made me scary, like, you know, to be in certain places or, you know, with people, because I'm just like something, you know, whatever, where it's gonna happen. But I want to say by the time I got like to college, like that was probably my biggest, I'll say, for myself, because I know I was even trashy and whatever, but I still, it's something about being 19, 20, you can tell me shit. I don't care how big I was. Like, I was so overly confident.
Yes.
And then I feel like, because that's like coming straight out of high school, you know, going to college, you're just green and you're happy and you're just like, I'm gonna wear this.
I'm
Knowing
free.
that you said
Yes.
that skirt and them shoes.
But I'm still
you need to
wearing
choose
it.
one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you want to do that with the
we
guys
literally
and
wear
that?
like a stretchy spaghetti strap dress that's like, it's just
Oh
like,
my
it's like, girl,
gosh.
get naked. But
Can we just talk about the surfaces that we touched with those couches with those skirts on when we go to the
Or just leaning on
Oh my gosh! Like, have you ever seen a club couch in the light of day? You're like,
Oh my God.
I sat on it.
With the light on it. Anything.
Oh my gosh! I need a summer's heat now because what was this? This is disgusting. Oh.
and then I think like coming from college and like making that choice of like, oh wow, I think I want to work out and be active. And then it kind of makes you pinpoint like, oh, that's what's wrong. Like all that is wrong. And then you go on social media and then you start seeing inspirations. Like that's when Instagram first started popping off and I'm like, oh, I'm not that cute. or like I got work to do. You know what I'm saying?
Lots of work.
Right. And so I think like growing up, society, you know, media, just kind of putting in your head like all these different images of like whatever, perfection or what beauty may be, like whatever standards, you know, that are out there, and then it kind of just, it fucks with you. You know what I'm saying? And so you really just have to hone in and doing the work and knowing yourself and being like, you know, this is me. I embrace like my boobs. I talk about them being small, but I love these things. Like they are cute. They are. They sit really pretty. And I know like certain tops, I'm like, okay, you can wear that. But then sometimes I don't like somebody that actually see like the size. Like it's because it's there. It's like I don't need you to really understand my circumference of my whole. Because I can wear stuff with no bra or like just nothing. But I'm like, I don't want to do nothing like that. So I just don't embrace that. But like I said, now after having Moses, like I'm really up and down and I'm maintaining. Like I really got my balance right now. And so I don't know. Now I'm here. Like at 32, I like where I am.
I feel like that's what 30s do. Like you get to the point where you're like, it
That's
doesn't really matter. I'm what I'm gonna be today,
Right.
and that's how it's gonna
Are
be.
you okay for it?
No,
Right.
it's that, and also the fact that you can make a drastic change if you want to.
If you want
Right.
to, yeah.
You just gotta make the time to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the teens are literally your years just for hindsight. Because for your teens and everything before that, it's just people telling you what to do. And then in your 20s, it's just like, oh, so I don't need a cosigner anymore. So if this goes wrong, this is me.
Like my first time, you're responsible.
Right. So wait, I'm sorry. What happens with this? Oh, for real? So So, you know, like in your 20s, you can be like, I am actually paying for the consequences of my actions. So in your 30s, you're like, oh honey, I'm too old for that. You know what that means? That means I gotta go to court. I gotta find money for this.
Yeah.
I don't need a speeding ticket. I'm gonna ride real comfortable in this between this 8 and 10 range. They can go around because I don't need a super speeding ticket. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So like with your 20s, it's the same thing. Like, you know what? Do I really want to sit and have a whole pack of Hawaiian rolls and be so in pain because I'm constipated, or do I want to go for a run? It's pretty outside, you know what?
You think about that now?
I think about that now.
You
I
eat
still
Hawaiian rolls?
I will still eat a pack. And I'm not talking about a 4, I'm talking about a 12, just sitting over here looking like,
You don't warm them up either.
I don't warm
You
them
don't even get them to cook.
I love my daddy is a baker. He got my mama baking her warm bread, okay? I've always, anything, give it bread, hot, yes, I love it, all of it. Anything in the carb family, as long as I can have carbs in my diet, I'm gonna be a happy person. If you try to cut that out, then I'm gonna cut you, so you know.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
How'd you balance?
So my question is, like, how old were y'all when y'all started wearing makeup? And like, do you feel like you wear more makeup now than you used to?
I started wearing makeup at Gordon. So, and what started me was
What age was that?
I was 19. Sorry, Gordon College. So, my
19,
makeup,
20.
19, 20, probably like 18, 19. I had the little Maybelline ones with the eyeshadow, and that's literally all I would do. I would do the eyeshadow, and that's it. I wouldn't do any mascara.
Remember the matching eyeshadow with your shirt
No.
or blue on
Eyeshadow.
because it's blue and a blue necklace.
It had all of them, and so it had the 3 colors in it, and on the back of it, when you flip it over, it'll tell you this one goes in the corner,
Girl,
this
yes,
one goes
that's
in the
what
middle,
started
and this
it.
one goes in the end. I was like, oh, what kind of goodies in the
Or your first smoke eye.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Once I realized a crease and a contour, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Huh, that helped a
Shit.
lot.
That's nothing though. My second grade yearbook picture, I had on like deep mocha lipstick. Where I got it from, I don't
Makeup.
know.
It
That
was
was
just
really my
makeup
question.
in our house,
Mama
like
is
because my
Mary
mom
Kay.
used to do Mary Kay, and so she had samples and parties and stuff. So it was always like something to be like, ooh, what's this? I think silver lipstick was my jam. Like, I was just like,
I'm sorry, let's change
That's what my
that.
mom had. It was like
Shady.
black lip liner
Oh,
or
Lord.
eyeliner shit. Because why would you create a black lip liner and then put silver on there? I was about to say something.
What was you about to say?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Just
It's
sounds
something
like-
mama say. But working at Big Lots
Mhm.
and like, you know, it's a cheap store, so they used to always have like cheap Maybelline and like L'Oreal,
They
like
had everything
just sample
for, like,
stuff like
25
50
cents.
yeah, 50 cents, 25 cents. So I was just buying it and bringing it home and like wearing the blue eyeshadow and the purple and then little mama hair.
I think I still have some of that makeup, like at least.
Jesus.
Why?
That sounds like bacteria.
That sounds like a
That
skin
doesn't mean you can just
infection.
open it and
Unless you want to
close.
frame it, it's not open. But you know, makeup has an expiration
open and
date.
exposed.
I'm just like, you know, makeup has an expiration date.
It does, but okay, so y'all know.
I mean, we concerned. You know,
That's cute though. Memory,
No, that's what I'm
nostalgia.
saying. It's like a memory for me, a keepsake, because I love remembering old things.
But I think bringing all that stuff home, like Jamie started playing it because you was in middle school, and
I feel like Miss Karen, like, really, like, was made for daughters.
oh yeah, she was.
She was definitely made for daughters. You know how some women are just, when they're
Shout out
made,
to you, women.
when they have children, you know, they're just made for just children in some way. She just made y'all just like woman's woman. Like, my mom was always like, don't let nobody run over you. She's like, you just do what you do and you gonna get through.
And knife in your back
You
pocket.
know, always. She's like, she wouldn't even in the back pocket. Keep it in between the index finger and your middle finger. And I'm like,
She
oh.
bought me my first keychain. Run
know.
up, please, run up, get done.
You know, so she's always like about protection. So like as far as like, you know, like doing stuff with your hair and your makeup and stuff, I learned that from y'all.
Like, I don't
I
remember.
remember
how
like
it
when
was.
me and both said like first I started clothes like after boarding, but you coming over to like a townhouse and I'm like, let me do your makeup. And like, I don't even wear makeup as much as I used to. Like I wear makeup, but like no way as much as I used to.
Pictures of y'all after y'all
Yeah, because Dulce's face is so freaking cute, and she didn't wear any of it. So I was just like, I got all this shit. Let me put it on you, and she's like, okay, okay.
So Jada would just be over here looking like, let me do this on your eye, and I'm like,
Right. Like,
Oh my
I can't go to the club with
failed
y'all.
attempts at putting lashes on you.
Oh,
I feel
so
like
glad.
YouTube taught me how to wear makeup. I used
YouTube
to
taught
watch
you a lot.
videos,
YouTube is the bomb.
videos after videos,
Yes.
and I would just buy the stuff that they had to make the same face. I would practice, and then, but I feel like I stopped there, and it didn't evolve past that time. So like I wear makeup, but I feel like I just wear the basics. It's not.
yeah.
I'm
And
just
that's
saying,
why
I'm not
because
baking. I'm
the
not
style
doing
of
those
makeup
things.
now is like on another level.
It really
They
is.
have all these challenges. Like now, there's one where you like get red lipstick, and you're basically putting it all here
Yeah.
and here, and then you do your full face.
You
on
know
top
how
of it.
like
And it's
having
supposed to
oily,
be like rosy.
having oily skin, like now dewy is a look, and like I had, it's kind of a combination. I think because I drink more water now, my skin is not as oily. But girls are really out here looking glossy, like.
I love that, but I
But
love
me,
it for
I'm
real,
like, I thought I just
bare face.
got to some
You know what I'm
Vaseline.
saying?
It's just some girl, but I feel like when you're younger, your skin sometimes, I don't know, I mean, like I'm old, I'm not old, but it's just sometimes I'm like, okay, don't do too much. Like the other day, remember I told you I was doing my makeup, and I made a mistake and put contour right here. Yo, I was like, I was 60. I'm just saying, you have to.
Jesus.
I'm joking. Maybe
Like,
it just ages.
Casket
And
ready.
we're talking about makeup and like, you know,
Creating shadows.
yeah,
and
but it's like how you saying your makeup routine is the basics. It works for you, and that's something I had to teach myself because I used to obsess over like, Jana, I'm not doing all of that. Like Jana got so many stuff, and it looks flawless.
But I don't even do it the same every time. So
I
it's
know.
like customized. I hate when people make it seem like makeup is just do
I
this,
used
do
to
that
feel
in
that
this
way.
order.
Yeah.
Take this on and do it. Blend that out for 3 minutes. Like it's whatever you
Sometimes I literally would just put on concealer and like pat that shit and just put some glitter, some
Ooh, that makes
gold
my
right
eyes
here. But to me, my eyebrows are done. I got a little mascara.
Yeah.
It just look natural. It don't look like I'm doing too much.
I just want
can't.
my skin to look like, hey, all that coke is not affecting you at all.
Yeah. And I never wanted to
Coca-Cola.
take on. I never wanted to take on too
Oh
much.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes, no drugs. No drugs.
No, this is hilarious. But it's really cool for us to come together, like being that it's Women's History Month and like have a girls talk. This is our first video doing this, and like, how do y'all feel? Like,
Fantastic.
yeah, I do too. Like being in front of the camera, like it's different. But it's how we talk.
Exactly. I
It's
just
no
feel like
different.
We are a family, like a giant tree.
Walk back
Reaching
to
up to the
the
sky. We are a family. I feel like saying that all the time. That's my jam. I don't know nothing past the words.
oh, I know the whole song. So.
You know, because I had to stop because every time they singing it, they kicking somebody off, and so, but like, no, we just joining the family.
But
Every time they had somebody sing that song on Dream Girl, somebody was leaving. Like, are you okay?
It was only saying one time.
every time you watch it.
Okay.
Why? That was so silly. Why do y'all feel like this is important for us to like come together and talk and like? I don't know if you want to say like just us coming together, but like what we do, like what we represent. Like
So much fakeness out there.
I just feel
There's
like
so much
it's different than us.
filters.
it really
it's
is.
just like,
it's not even
and
about.
I'm just looking at these girls and I'm just like, do you know that there's like options outside of this, of what actual women are like? Like, we're not all fighting each other. Like, all women cannot not have female friends. Like, I know a whole bunch of females who be like, I can't be around too many men because they messy, and men are messy. Like, have you
They
ever
really
just
are.
sat around with your guy friends and just hear them talk about their other guy friends? I'm like, oh wow, I don't think you guys like him. Is he coming over here? Is that really a shooter?
They're like, you don't need them to hear it.
Does he have a gate code? I
Men
don't think
are
I should let him
different.
in. You know?
But I've heard women say like, I can't do female. I don't have female friends. That bothers me because I don't know. Like, I have a
how?
sister, I have a mother, and me and my mom.
They
like,
have mom issues. Instead
Yeah,
of having dad issues, they have mom
Yeah.
issues. And so, like, that's something that, like, it's not something that we can help them compound. It's something that therapy is going to be really necessary for.
like, for as long as I've known, like, we haven't seen mom, but as long as I've known y'all, like, y'all both have, like, great relationships with your mom, you know, where they evolve. Like, we've all had our things with our mom.
Yeah.
But I look at my mama for real and be like, dang, sis, you really put all this in me. Like, I give credit to her all the time. Like, she's always like, because she does look at us and she's smiling, like, look at y'all.
Yeah.
You know, like, how you look, you keep yourself together. Like, I did my thing. I'm like, this all you, sis? Like,
Because it's so hard when you're in it, man. When you're
Yeah.
especially raising young girls, it's because so many people tell them how they should feel about themselves before they ever have a real opinion of themselves. So many people told us who we needed to be, whether they were related to us, whether they were teachers or just other adults. They told us who they thought we were supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
I'm thinking about Tana.
you know, like, this is why we do this. It's like, this is her
like,
tribe, and so we
I have
have
a
to stay
son.
connected to each other in order so that we can be able to uplift each other, so that when
Right.
she's just around, and you know Santana Flanagan is a sponge.
Yeah,
She's a sponge. She just
And she's
soaks
at
up
the age,
everything. And
yeah.
even now, she's so considerate and caring and just of other children. Okay, don't do my baby. Okay, because you know she's sitting over here looking like
It's
it's okay.
literally like a Sour Patch. Like,
She is, but
I think
that's
she
what's
is.
us. That's what's us adults.
Yeah.
Because I've seen. I mean, when you see her with other kids, she's just like, "Do you need help? Oh no, no tears, nap time. No, why are you patting them, baby? You got a mat because you need to go to sleep too."
It's just like that change, like from childhood to adulthood. Like when you really look back, it's like, dang.
Yeah.
I'm here. We're here.
Yeah.
We are the change makers. Whatever's gonna happen, ain't no going back. Ain't nobody to look to. You know, as far as like the grounds that are set. You know, the path that we're walking on from here on out. And it's like I really do think about the babies, like the girls coming up behind us. Like that's why it just made me think of Tana, because I'm like, before we know it, she gonna be sitting right here telling us what she see about us,
Right,
you know,
right.
and that's something too, like, being that I have a son, but like, just imagine having a daughter, and I can sit back and look at my mom and really like thank her, like, all those times where you was getting on my nerves, or you was hard on me, or I didn't understand,
It was
yeah,
worth it. Yes.
Not even
realizing she
that,
was
like
just
how
doing
you
her
were
thing.
protected, and like you know how
Yes.
easy it is for you to feel like your child, you don't have a good grip on them, or
Ooh.
you have such a big responsibility.
Like, for
Like
all the times
they
I
kept
didn't
us.
answer the phone, or you couldn't find me, because like having them, you already know Moses will be there one day, and I just pray.
But
I'm like, I need you to answer the phone. I need you to, like, you know, like, I understand as a parent, like, that security you want on your child.
This
Like-
child's like, I need you to answer the phone, ma'am. You're gonna be like, oh, we not answering? Where's Find My Phone? I'm gonna find my son.
Oh my
It's
God.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how old you get to where you still need these conversations, because
Yeah.
you always want to know that you're like headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like I think I came over here, it was like maybe last month, and we started talking about like sex, and I was like, I needed this conversation
And I could
because
tell, and I didn't even, I was ready. I mean, you know, I'm not ready. Like, we can talk about whatever, but for you to open up, I know we don't talk. I mean, that would be funny.
it
Every
just
time we
like
got
flowed.
together, it's like, me and Dana was making fun, talking about like, what are we gonna say on camera? Like, what if we start confessing some stuff? Like I wanna have threesomes.
What? That's not how it go though. Okay,
it was
thank
just
you.
funny.
No invitation.
how
Yeah.
you vibe with your girls. Like
Yeah, like we
just
really
might
can
say
talk
anything.
about anything. Like, and we.
And that was, I think I came over here to drop off
And no,
something.
where were we while we were
and
talking about this? We were in Moses' room.
sitting
Oh my
there
God.
on the floor.
You know, but
The thing about y'all having boys is I always feel so bad for them, because I'm just like, my baby's really gonna be sitting over here like Belle Biv DeVoe, like, baby, I know she got a soft voice and a big booty, but we don't like her.
oh my God. Yeah, don't make me think about.
They're gonna be like, but mama, she got really good skin. I saw it. It's not just the makeup. Like, she drink water and she pretty. Like, no.
I'm like, okay, she's coming down.
Right, tell me she didn't
I'll give her a
Eat her
consultation.
Like, what mama do?
Mama, I saw her lunchbox and she pulled out a graham cracker.
Them boys. But yeah.
See, that's the only healthy food I could think of, a graham cracker. I just went plain.
I thought you
and
was
it was
gonna say,
still
I
carbs.
I got nothing for you.
But no, I think like back to what Valerie said about us coming together lets you, kind of be reminded that you're on the right path. Like, y'all know we've been doing this thing for a minute and we're constantly pivoting and trying to find ways to have our voices be heard, because like what Jana said before we started, it ain't about us. Like, it's about those that are coming behind us. And I'm just grateful for y'all as my sisters. And like, I know like our hearts, like we're passionate about making an impact while consciously still being driven to maneuver through our own lives, because we all got different things going on, we all have different families, and it takes those certain people to like break the mold, and that shouldn't hurt sometimes.
To help you break the cycle.
I'll be like, don't look at me, I don't want to do nothing, I don't want nobody to see me, I don't want nobody to criticize or critique how I'm doing, when it's just God that's moving through us. And
I think it's so funny because we're all like that. We have our moments where it's like, don't look at me.
Yeah.
And then we have those ones like, hey, wake up, alarm clock, I'm here. Hey, look at me, Hey.
Yeah, it's a funny balance, but like for real, this was fun. Like, we'll see. Like, I don't know. Do we want to do this again?
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you for listening to us. Make sure that you continue to follow herfreeimage.com.